Hi everyone, my name is Eric Boudreau. Welcome to Drumfills Kafé. Um, if you never heard about Drumfills Kafé, first of all, it's a webcast for drummer. You can use it as a podcast in your and listening in your car or something like that. But primarily, the show is for drummers, but not just the artist as a drummer. In this show, we're gonna talk about like artists from all over the drum industry, the drum world. So it's pretty good because sometimes we're gonna have people coming from like the company side, like we had already, and sometimes will be like a technician working with drummer or another musician working with drummer. So I invite you, if you've never done before, we have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe, and you have all the past shows. Actually, today is the World Edition number 4. We had already 3 passing. We have Rick Latham's, Todd Zuckerman, and many great drummers. So please go check it out. They are all the time on YouTube for rewatch it. Today, I want to make a few things first. Well, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Instagram, and the Facebook for Drumfills Kafé. We have a lot of information, and until the end of this summer, the version will be around like what you've seen right now. In September, all that will grow up. So please stay tuned. So that's why if you are subscribing to the channel, you will have more information at that time. So just to a teaser, and that will be launched today officially, June 3 for the 3rd for the World Edition. I will have Nico Derfer from France, Joanie Labelle from Canada, Suzanne Morissette, a Canadian living in California, Randolph Jimenez from Toronto, Canada, Mark Kelso from Toronto, and David Garibaldi from United States. And June 17, I will have Nasir Abdullah Kabir, Joel Stevenette, Don Lombardi, Paul Bostaff, Jim Riley, and Matt Alpern are my guesses. June, and yes, the 16th of June, usually it's only a French version because Drumfills Kafé have the World Edition, so that's mean it's in English and it's from all over the world. But we have a version in French, and that 16th of June, it's a version in French, but I couldn't put everybody in the World Edition, so Thomas Pridgeon will be at the end of that show in English, so you're more than welcome to stay tuned. So it will be pretty good. I'll have a big lineup for June, and July and August will be more capsules or lives, so you will be more like some lives, so you'll be invited to check it out. And yeah, so please subscribe, YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook. So let's go see our first guest. It's a friend of mine we know from a while, and actually he's late for him right now. He's an educator, he's a drummer, he's an author, he's a clinician. He wrote the book, the Paradiddle Drum book, actually, and it was in the top 5 of modern drummer this year, 2020. So that's pretty cool. He toured with BC World Project and Sheridan Cadwell all around the world. He studied with the R.M. Gliver at Kiev University with this teacher is Vitaly Machulin. He studied with Don Familaro for a year and made collaboration with him. He developed his own program for kid brain development, and they are using those in Montessori and other private school. He plays Sabian, Promac, Evan, Skygel, and Dimper Pad. So Maksym Deomin, how are you doing?
Very good, very good. Hi, Eric.
So what time it is for you?
It's 1 a.m. It's almost morning.
Yeah, sorry for that because you're the only one on that on the list today at that time. So that's why I put you first. But well, thank you for accepting.
That is perfect time for musician. It's nice.
Good time for a second or third coffee, right, before to go sleep.
Absolutely.
So that's good. So well. First of all, I know you as a drummer. You tour all around the world. You studied in every different places. Right now, you are in Europe, in Kiev, right?
Yes. I moved to Kiev. I used to live 7 years in Canada, and I drove to my lesson to the Don Familaro, to the New York from Toronto, and after that, I moved back to Ukraine and set up my school, my teaching thing here and teaching around the. Like it mostly is globally, but most of my students is in Eastern Europe right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many students do you have, like, for fun? Because I know you have crazy lineup usually, but how many?
Yes, so many people. I don't strict with the student. pushing them to come for the lesson once in a week. So it's right now it's about 500 interested students who come in. Some of them come in once a month, some of them come in like more regular, and I do the group lesson, Zoom sessions with them every morning. Like every morning, I teach about 30 students online.
Okay, well,
Every morning.
every morning.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good way to start your morning, right?
The best. The best. This is drumming.
I was used to do something like that, but by myself, like watching TV, cartoon or something with a drum pad with my coffee when I was at university, and that was my best start of the day. Like an hour, you're not there, like at 8:30. It's hard, but I mean, it's good to break habits, So
Yeah, we start at 8 and we finish at 10, like group
okay,
lesson.
whoa, it's a long stretch.
2 hours, and we do different things. And I think 2 hours is good enough to have a good practice.
Okay. Yeah, oh, yeah, I hope so. How you get that idea to do a group of 2 hour practicing every morning?
Very easy. When quarantine started, everybody was locked down, and they lost socialization, lost the company, and I'm started to figure out what to do, and I found a way, and come to my students with idea to maybe practice together a little bit, and then it moved to the lessons, and it worked. 2 months. We do it 2 months every morning.
Yeah, that's congratulations. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, I think I couldn't do that. I'm not. I can do stuff strict, but this is intense. So what? Well, it's nice. Good work. Well, you started to study in University of Kiev, but before that, I didn't know. Can you tell us about that? Because I didn't have the information. Did you? At what time? At what age you started, and did you study in high school?
It wasn't university. It was university professor.
Okay.
I get a lesson, like private lesson, for 5 years from him when I was about 18 years old at that time. And after that, I moved to Germany and play a little bit, to get some music experience, music and life experience, of course.
Yeah.
and then I moved to Canada, and spent 7 years there. And the rest was the story, I moved back.
Well, but it was great. Toronto is amazing, and Germany too. Like there's so many good nicest places there, and good musician too in those places. So yeah, I'm sure you learn a lot. And how you became to work with Dom? Like I'm Dom Famularo. You met him in the drum events, or you called him? How was the first time you connect with him?
Yeah, I'm from the post-Soviet Union country, and when I was young, it was a little different story. All the borders were locked, and all my childhood, I feel like I'm locked in a country. Yeah, so anything which came, from the Western world was like very different. And when I get like about 20 years old, I found this. Magazines like Modern Drummer magazine and Drummings magazine at that time, and I found some article about Dom Famularo. It says Dom Famularo is a teacher, and there was very interesting exercise, flamed with the feet, and I tried it because I was attracted by the double bass drumming. I tried these exercises, and I feel like, oh my God, this is very good, and Dom Famularo his picture looks like very, mature and very powerful drummer, a good teacher. And it was like dream to get to his lesson. And after that, when I moved to Canada, I got a US visa, and I called them. It wasn't easy to reach him. I called it once a day. For a couple of months. But finally, I reached him, and he called me back, and he said, Maksym, come over for lesson. And I started study for him, and I studied 3 years, and I drove from Toronto to New York 3 times a month, which is pretty cool travel. Yeah. Yeah, that was like 13 hours, 12 hours trips one way. And I got the lesson, learn all about the techniques, all the history, some other stuff like shaping things, independence, and marching drumming, classical drumming, snare drumming, percussion and grooves and stuff like that.
And I'm guessing that have changed your life because you wrote book and you're still working with him and you have collaboration with him. So how are you still a student with him, or you're more like a friend now and you evaluated with him?
You cannot finish to be student. I'm student of everywhere. I'm student of my students. I'm student of my teachers. I'm student of my life, of my wife, of my kids. So I'm learn all the time.
Always learn.
Every day, every time, every second, I'm learn something new. And of course, I'm studying from him, but not like regular way, but by communication. So I'm organizing his tour around the Ukraine. And last time we done 4 cities, and we spent like a week together, and I had so much time to ask questions from him. It was great,
For sure, you're connected. It's good, but congratulations for you. And going from him to your own things, you did a lot of master classes. I saw you doing a lot of camps, drumming camp. Can you tell us about, because some people doesn't have idea how hard it is to make a camp, because it's not like just I will do some classes. You do like for 25, 45 person for a few days. How you start the point? What's the point A until the point B when you start that?
The main point is, to help people. If I, of course, I'm usually know my students. I know I'm asking them questions. I know them. I know what they need to learn. I'm trying to find the way to improve them, express ideas, and I'm balancing program for all of them. So sometimes it's different level students in the same room, and I'm trying to balance my program for everybody. So if there is a professional drummers, or sometimes. Well, not sometimes. I'm teaching college and university teachers, professors right now about techniques, about independent stuff, many things which I learned from the Dome, of course. And they are in same room, teacher and their students sometimes. And you need to balance it, balance situation. So everybody should know like techniques, which is good for you to know techniques, movements, because movements is work with the brain, with the nervous system, with physics, with neurobiology, with everything, And I'm trying to express idea about the movement from the scientific side, from the physics, from the neurobiology, from the quantum physics, from everything, from every science. And it's good and interesting for everybody. And this is, the point of success. And after that point, when we learn techniques, we do some special things like rudimental things, rudimental solos, gravity things, learning, percussion, like different styles, African music, Cuban music, like many things. And at the end, we do phrasing, we do music like together. So I set up percussion and drum for them. So we do the flows of the rhythms, like originally was made in Africa. So one flow, another flow, third flow, and then 2 drummers have like conversation.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And we figure out this, we're trying to make it more musical, and I do whatever you do. People like it. People are attending camps, and I'm happy, and they are.
Yeah, I'm sure, because I think you did a lot in 2019. I think I don't know how many you did, but I did a lot of those. You were publishing all the time, like drum camp this month, that day, and it's pretty good. If the people are up to that and they want to do it, it's great. I wanted to go from that to my other question. I didn't know you developed the brain development for the kids for school and other different approaches. this is intense. It's not like just like I will let's play some drums. It's like you have to. It's a full process. How you became with an idea like that?
Well, we didn't finish it yet, but we started when I was in Canada. So I came up with the idea to the Montessori schools, Leys Daru Montessori in Toronto, and we figure out this is about this little micromotorics, like motorics. It's really affect the brain, and in Montessori system is so many exercise based on the things you touch, on the surfaces.
Okay.
This sending signals from your nervous system to your brain, and as harder the signals, it's better brain development. So I came up with the idea: what if we will use stick or drum,
Okay.
and we will play patterns with bigger movements, like larger movements, like molars and things, and I'm applied coordination and independence for that. And it was like successful program. Like kids was improved really good, because they checked their IQs after time, and it was good idea. But one day I should go home and we finished it. But I think we will return for that, and because I keep researching, I keep work with people, and it works. It works with the brain, it works with my brain. Music works with your brain, and everybody who plays music, they are changed. So
So it's pretty good. I mean, I didn't know that, and I think it's very interesting. And because this is an avenue, people should think about. Kids are if they start in a young age, music is helping them to grow up and to learn and to become a person. So I think it was a good idea for you to do that.
Yeah, because music is emotional and spiritual side of our development. We can have really strong, really small physical development or intellectual development, but emotional and spiritual, it's really missing. So this is opposite side. This is opposite side of the science, traditional science. And if you research it, you will find different way, different way of living. Even Albert Einstein, he said, like, imagination is more important than knowledge. And imagination is a product of a right side of our brain, which we need to develop, of course. And this point is really good. This really works for me, and I love to think about. I love to research about that. And I'm trying to play emotionally more than intellectually, or even balance.
Or the balance of
Find the balance of that.
And from there, did that bring you to write the Paradiddle book, the drum book? Because I know I mentioned it at the beginning. You were in the top 5 this year in Modern Drummer 2020 books. Drum book, so it's amazing. So, but I know you told me it's mathematics, it's easy. It's like my grandmother was saying. I was saying, hey, it's very good, that food. Everything I've been cooked alone, so you need to do it. So you have to put stuff in it and bring it. So how you started? Because I know we can always do like a million of different paradiddle, but you have to put an order on that.
Sure. The paradiddle is just name. It's just name for the book. It's like stick control. It's name for the book, which works with the brain. Not with the stick, it works with the hand and the brain. It's just names. So paradiddle, it's a variation of communication on a drummer manner. So if we say communication in regular life, when we talk about paradiddle in drumming, that means something symmetrical or something like call answer or whatever, And an idea was to create something symmetrical or logical, because when we learn music, we work with the intellectual side when we learn it, and when we learned it out, we can apply emotional side and another way. So all the books I'm practiced on my life, I had the same story with every book. I felt like the patterns is really different one from each other. and I find the system which made it more smooth, and I made the patterns, many patterns.
Did you wrote them? You wrote them in your computer, or you asked someone to do it for you?
Yeah, no, I did it. I spent half a year to do like 4 hours a day to put accents on notes. And after that, you can apply it for everything. You can use it as a stick control extension. You can use, because accent can be right hand and non-accent note can be left hand. You can use it as an accents and rebounds. You can use it as a extension of master studies, as advanced technique for the modern drummer. You can play accents with the left hand when you're playing Kaskar with right, or you can play jazz with right and play patterns with your bass drum. You can, the best idea from this book, because it's improves creativity, because when you have the book which is everything written on it, it's losing creativity. You're just playing how it's written, and you cannot express yourself through this book. But everybody says, like, when we open in this just simple things, 16ths with an accents, like, it's just blast, you have a blast of ideas.
And there's it's limitless. I mean, endless. I mean, you can do whatever things with it. So this is a good thing. I wrote a book a bit, not a Paradiddle specific book, but a book. There's a section on it. I didn't want ending. I wanted people can have million of ways to do it. So, and I think this is the best, because I was a big fan. You mentioned something stick control, or like syncopation, or like new breeds or books. There are like, you can open your ways to do everything with those,
And with the Paradiddle books, it's just more variations, because all that books I practiced like many times. I did stick control and with the 3 strokes 3 times only. There's 150 variations of
so
pages, and and I understand. So it's not enough words, because when you learn 4 notes and you have some combination of accents, I'm accepted as an alphabet. But if you know alphabet, it doesn't guarantee that you can produce words from that. So the words is completely different thing, and this is why this book is here, and this is why I practice it. And
do you use it a lot with your student?
Yeah, absolutely. I have some students who finished it twice.
Nice. So there are machines that if you
no, just music. They do it like musically.
Okay, because whoa, it's like, but it's funny you mentioned that. It's like a game. Some people say, "Oh, I finished that book." For example, one day I met one man. He's like, "I finished the Virgin Unity book." I said, "Cool, man! Whoa, I'm impressed." So when I was a student, so when I look at him, he didn't finish nothing. I mean, he was able to play patterns, but you know what I mean. But roughly, not on metronome, not clear.
They did with metronome, with articulation, with exact timing, and yeah, they did it good.
Exact. You're very active online. I mean, before even the COVID-19 coming, you were very active teaching, promoting. Is it something you want to push more, or is even if the COVID didn't have been in our life right now, is it something it was in your business plan to do online? Because it's very good. I mean, you're very active, and it's not boring. It's like there's always something new.
Actually, I think I'm boring.
Well, for you maybe, but
me on the Facebook. But from another side, I have so many things which happening, and and everybody wants like video or picture from that master class or from that class, or some video, and they publish it, and I'm reposting, and this is it. So it's not like I really want to be really famous or something. It's not about me. I want to stay quiet, and love my family, love my music, love my book, and things which is surrounding me. And but on the social networks, it's just social networks. If you have a picture and you published it, everybody see it.
So yeah, makes sense. That makes sense. But what are your next project coming? The new book, new masterclass, new camp. I know now we're still like in our house, but that will change in a few months. So what are your plans?
Yeah, my plans. I lost so many things in April. I should be in Germany. in Latvia. I should make a tour around Ukraine. I should go to the India with tour and should go to the Turkey. And after that, we should go to the China with the Sam Rottenberg. He's a teacher from Philadelphia area. He's a student of John Morella, and we collaborate together. And we should go for 3 weeks to the tour to the China. And it was canceled because of COVID, of course. And so many things was canceled. So I think when it ends, we'll go back to the truck and go everywhere.
Life will back to normal. Actually, we need to still talk, because I want to go in Ukraine. I want to, like, in Kiev, and do some drum stuff. I talked with you last summer, but I was so busy I couldn't finally make it happen. Because I was busy doing shows here, but it's something I would like, because I saw your student, like, or look like very, like, into drumming and very motivated, and it's fun to see that,
Yeah, but this is this is like magic, this is like magic. My students is like magic. So everybody who come in for the master class to Ukraine, or other countries where my students are saying, "Oh, you want me to do 3 hours master class? It's too long." And saying, "You don't even will know it's left," because they are so hungry for knowledge. They will suck you up. You will be like,
it's over, done. Yeah, but at the same time, it's great, because now we were talking about that the other day with Chris Les. So, like, even with everybody's in their house. Yes, social media sometimes has their bad side, but now they have their good, if you want to take those good sides. And for example, every morning you have been able to connect with so many people who wants to do those 2 hours warm up. And you know what I mean? It's not like a 15-minute. No, it's 2 hours, so it's great. I mean, it's not everybody can do that. So congrats for that again.
Yeah, this is magic.
And we have like a 1 or 2 minutes left. Where the people can connect with you? Tell us, like, where they can go to get classes with you, where they can do those 2-hour warm up. Can be
I'm still on Facebook, so you can take my name on the Facebook, and you can find me easily and answer any messages immediately. So my phone always with me, so you can connect. Thank you very much for that.
But you have Instagram, and do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, like anywhere.
Anywhere. Perfect. Well, and you're still taking student right now, right?
Yeah, of course. Because it's it's not like strict plan, like weekly lessons. It's up to them if they made decision. I think music is a very democratic thing, so you make your decision when you attend a lesson.
That makes sense. Hey, Max, thank you so much for having accepted the invitation. I'm so happy to have you here. I wish we will connect when I will back to NAMM show or something like that, when life will back to normality. But
thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much. And waiting for you in Ukraine.
I hope I'm gonna make it. I don't think this year it would all happen, but I think 2021 could be a good target to do that.
Excellent.
I have a good rest. Go to sleep now. It's late for you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if you just connect for the channel and you never watch Drumfills Kafé, my name is Eric Boudreau. Drumfills Kafé is a webcast for drummer, but not just the drummer itself, everybody involved in the drumming industry. We have already had like a lot of shows. The show have started in French, in the French section, but if you go on YouTube, the YouTube channel of Drumfills Kafé, you will see there's a few shows in French and a few in English. The world edition are almost all the time in English, so you're more welcome to go check it out. Last week I had like Rick Latham. 3 weeks ago was Todd Zuckerman, and I had a lot of other good drummers. So I invite you to go check it out. Just for a teaser that will be launched officially tomorrow. June 3, I will have Nico Derfer, Joanie Labelle, Suzanne Morissette, Randolph Jimenez, Mark Kelso, and David Garibaldi. And June 17, I will have Nasir Abdul Kabir, Joel Stevenet, Don Lombardi, Paul Bostaff, Jim Riley, and Matt Alpern. And June 16, sorry, it's the French show. But at the end, I will have a special guest. Will be Thomas Pridgeon. So you're more welcome to go see those shows. The 17 will be the last show, and in September the channel will grow up crazy with way more things. So you're more welcome to check it out. So let's go for the next guest. He's born in Winchester, Ontario, Canada. He started to play the drum in a young age, and he studied in an high school, the music, the big band, pipe bands, all you can play in an high school. He studied McGill University in drum performance jazz. He played with Vic Vogel big band for 15 plus years. And he played with have a lineup crazy like Vic Vogel, Al McLean, Bruno Pelletier, Céline Dion, Yannick Rieu, Florence K, Jeff Jorinson, Jessica Vigneault, well, name it, like Nikki Janowski. It's crazy. The lineup is really huge. He played at the Montreal Drum Fest, Capital Drum Fest, North Sea Jazz Fest, San Francisco Jazz Festival, and many other. He played he's on the Sonor Endorsee Zildjian Evans Pro Mark Protection Racket. I invite my friend, hey, Richard Irwin, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Can you raise your volume? You're very low.
Very low. Okay. How's this? Is that better?
Yeah, you sounds like I told you a CBC radio voice.
Welcome to Drumfills Kafé.
Drumfills Kafé. Well, I hear you, man, just for that. How are you doing?
Really good. Yeah, really good. Enjoying the sun. We finally does it look like Montreal just got sun?
Yes, I guess so. You have like you don't have your studio tan. You have like a red garden tan.
Yeah. The garden. Yeah, I was actually in the garden. I just finished making this big enclosed garden with chicken wire and all that to keep out the bunnies.
Yeah. Okay.
Every year. Every year we get this really nice lettuce, like huge lettuce, and just as we're about to pick it, the bunnies get in there and
kill them.
Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna be looking and crying from a distance this year.
Well, what is good, I didn't know you were harvesting and growing things in the garden, so it's a good thing. This is what I like about that channel. You always know stuff you didn't know about drummers, because I didn't know you were doing gardening and things like that. So I will know now. So it's in my bucket list. You know what I mean? So that's good. And that's make you as a drummer having more experiences on whatever, because whatever you have in your life, that will reflect on your drums. So
Totally.
Like family, emotional, whatever. If you can still raise your volume, I think some people won't have a. Can you test
close to the mic? Is that good?
That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I knew you were from Ontario, but you started to play the drum at 11, or you started to play drum before 11, and at 11 you decided that will be your instrument.
No, I started playing drums when I was 11. Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in a very musical family. Everybody sang.
Okay.
My dad was a music teacher.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he played a lot of piano and organ. So he played organ at the church, and we all sang in the choir.
Ah, cool.
My brother, my mother, and I. Yeah. And yeah, lots of singing. Like when I was in kindergarten, my dad had me in like solo singing competitions where he would. Yeah, well, I'd learn like 3 or 4 tunes a year, and he would play piano and accompany me. And I was so scared every time. I was 5 years old, singing solo in front of people. Yeah.
But it's good for you here. It make you have that musical side, not just the rhythm side. You can feel harmonies and.
Yeah, totally. I mean, anything musical is great for
I didn't know that. So and your mom was a music teacher too, or just your
no? My mom was a teacher, but not a music teacher. Yeah, just
okay.
Yeah, but he attempted to teach me how to play piano at one time, and it was kind of a disaster.
So well, at the same time, you it's not too bad because you had to learn the chords at the same time. I think you're frozen. Are you still here? I think you were frozen.
I'm here again. Yeah, I was frozen for a bit.
Okay, so but the piano is the best, I think, for a drummer. One of the best side instrument when you're in college or university. That will, because you can really see chords and things, and the guitar too. But for me, it was clearer on the keys when I was singing the notes and all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally, totally.
And but do you play only drum right now, or you play another instrument?
Pretty much only drums. I mean,
Okay.
piano. Like I play a bit of piano. I can play like, two fives and all the keys, but that's about it. I can get around on the piano. I played a
Yeah, yeah.
little bit of guitar. Yeah,
Well,
that's about
it's
it.
I
Just
was just asking because I'm curious because some musicians are very good to another instrument and we don't know. Like
yeah,
some guy are very good drummer, but we don't know they're a better guitar player, but they
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's funny. Well, it's pretty great. And after that, you joined McGill, and is where you met Vic Vogel during that time or after McGill?
During McGill, yeah,
During
yeah. I went to
McGill.
McGill. Yeah, I went to McGill, and the first year I wasn't in a big band,
Okay.
but my second year I was in Ron DeLauro's big band.
Yeah.
He was teaching there. Yeah, Ron, and he
I work with him. I hire
yeah.
him on my band actually for playing
Oh,
trumpet.
he's
Uh-huh.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And he was actually, he's been in Vic Vogel's band since day one, I think.
Yeah,
And so I guess it was around 1994, 95. Dave Robbins, this
Mhm.
fantastic drummer
Uh-huh.
from Vancouver. He was in Montreal for a long time, playing in Vic Vogel's big band, and he moved back to Vancouver, I think around 95. So Ron thought it would be a good idea for me to come and play. I was like 20 years old.
Green.
Yeah. Yeah, but I could read well, so it worked, and Vic was cool. You know, he yelled at me a few times. If you know Vic, do you know anything about Vic?
Yeah. I no, I never played with him, but I know him a bit, and I
Yeah.
seen actually I saw you once with him, long time ago when I
Okay.
was in I don't remember, and I think my first years, I think maybe your first years, I think it was in 2002, 1,
Okay.
2003,
Okay.
something ish, beginning of the 20, the 2000, and was great show. I don't remember where, but I saw it, and but I never seen with the other drummer though. I saw the documentary of Vic,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
like recently, a few years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting. But how was to work with him? He was giving you charts. That's it, and it was sight reading, or he was like go practice crazy, and or how he was managing his band in general.
We just rehearsed every Monday. Monday has always been like I guess the big band international rehearsal
It's
day.
true. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
so.
I think it's just a long tradition. So we just played a lot and rehearsed a lot, and he has his own book of tunes.
It's true.
Probably, yeah, he's got a very big book, and some of the charts, even back then, like 22 years ago, were like half destroyed with
Okay.
like so much pen and
No.
Sharpie, and oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
Well,
So
but
I,
that's a
I
good
just
proof because it's a proof is that the people are really working with it.
yeah, yeah, totally, totally, yeah. And you could see it was really interesting because you could see like the who was making the charts for him, like copying the charts in the beginning, a certain style, and then like 10 years later was another style, and so you could see
Yeah.
the lineage of chart writing. It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. Rick Layton was mentioning the other day when he wrote his drum book. He didn't say that on the show. He told me that before we go online. We were online. He was mentioning me when he wrote the funk drum book. He
Yeah.
made all the notes, all the written stuff in it are handmade because he
Oh,
wrote it in 80. So it was all about rules, and he told me I was starting to put notes and notes, and finally the editor said, "Yeah, it's cool, but you have to clear a few notes. The people will put those notes later, like put. I mean, not music note, like notes, like this mean that and that.
yeah, yeah,
So but I think I like it. It's a work in progress, and you can see that's a living music.
yeah, yeah, totally.
And you when did you start to play with him? Because now he passed away. But I mean, where
Yeah,
was you last year?
yeah. He passed away. He passed away last year. Well, I started in like '95, and I mean, I played with him right until last year, really.
Well,
But I mean, the last 5 years, he wasn't very well,
hmm
and I was sharing the drum chair with Al Bourgeois.
hmm
Yeah, so we were kind of sharing it. He was doing more of it the past 5 years, but yeah, yeah. So like 24 years, man, I am
it's
old.
It's a long way. But you did a lot of, because a lot of people know you as a jazz drummer, but you did a lot of pop too, and that's what is cool about you, because you can be very like can switch to one style to another. Like, and you work with Bruno Pelletier. Have you done the Russian tour, or you did only the one here with Bruno
Just the one in
Pelletier?
Quebec. Yeah.
But okay,
Yeah, just in Quebec. Yeah.
but it was a lot, because it was a special way. You were not like a full band. It was like a double bass, you piano, something like that, right?
Yeah, it was basically the Julie Lamontagne trio with Bruno. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
It was a little project called Le Gros Orchestre.
La Grosse Orchestre.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But it's cool.
I've got a poster here somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, actually, you have a cool background with a few drums in the back. So
yeah, basically this little bubble. This is my studio. This little bubble is the only thing where I don't have like crap. Like after this, I'm gonna have to jump out the door.
Okay. Nice. But I see your Sonar kit. Do you have a Fav kit, or like because or you don't care and you would do whatever?
I've got 3 Sonar D lights.
Okay, yeah, they're great.
I got the last ones before they stopped making them. I guess maybe 10 years ago.
Is it the Champagne Sparkle one?
Yeah. Where are they? There's some. Oh, they're not here. Yeah, Champagne Sparkle. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. Actually, I remember that kit. I saw it in live, and the quality of the lacquer and the sparkle is very pretty good.
But the finishes are so deep. It's just like really nice.
Yeah,
I'm very happy with them. Yeah, they're beautiful tone. I remember the first time I played Sonar, it was like I was on tour with Nicky Yanofsky.
Yeah,
and I was just regular. We were touring and getting backline and whatever kit du jour. And they always had like brand new heads, and they sounded like brand new drums with brand new heads. Except I sat down on this. I think it was an S Classics, a Sonar S Classics.
Oh yeah, they're great.
They're fantastic. And for the first time ever, a brand new kit with brand new heads like sounded like it was old. It had this beautiful warm tone, and I was like, man, I gotta play those drums.
Yeah, you've been with Sonar for a long time now.
Yeah, I think just over 10 years. Yeah, 10 or 12 years. Yeah.
Yeah, they make great kit, and good. You're well represented here with Scott, so it's very good. Good thing. And now you're with Zildjian, and Zildjian are pretty cool too. Like, I mean, they're great. Constantinople, and they have like crazy good lineup, Zildjian. So I'm happy for you. Have you been 2-3 years with Zildjian?
About that, yeah, 3 or 4. Yeah, I met up with Sarah at the first Ralph Angelillo Drum Fest. So I was playing there, and we just had a nice chat, and that was it.
Well, I'm happy for you. They're great. So now because today we're talking about teaching, and you don't teach much, but before, are you the kind of person who have like a lot of students? Because now you told me it's almost none, but before you were working a person having a lot of students, or more a few, you were selective and taking who you wanted to have with you?
It was more like a few. Yeah, I've never had a lot of students, and I've had a few like that stuck with me for a year or two.
Okay.
But oftentimes, people will see me at a club and be like, "Oh, we need a lesson," and I show them everything I know in an hour, and then they're gone. Yeah.
Okay, bye. Okay, that's what I know.
That's it. Now you know.
But it's okay. I mean, you're honest with you. You know how you are, and as a teacher, and it's okay.
No, I really enjoy teaching. I would love to do more of it. It's just time, Like I've only really got a couple months of the year where I could actually do it properly. Because the rest I'm just too busy playing, and luckily I'm too busy playing. It's great.
Congratulations for you, man. It's a commitment. Like Maksym, just before you, he was mentioning he have like 500 students, and they do 2 hours of rehearsal every morning during the quarantine, live streaming. It's a big motivation. You need to be very focused, but it's a commitment. Some people are very good at it, and I respect that too. You know what I mean? It's something you need to be very like dedicated.
Totally. Oh yeah, it's like teaching is its own thing, really. It's you can't do it half. Like you have to go all in, or otherwise, you just have to be dedicated to it. You're right. Yeah.
And talking about things we need to be dedicated, do you have a, I know we're in quarantine now, it's completely different, but what are your projects right now? Like after when all that will be gone, who are you playing with right now?
I'm playing a little bit with this great singer named Kingswood.
Okay.
He's from the UK.
Okay.
And he comes back once in a while, and we play with him. And I've recorded both of his albums. His new album just came out. Yeah, which is really great. Great singer, really fantastic singer.
Can you after the show? There's a chat. Can you post the link?
Yeah,
the
sure.
link so people can go check it out.
Of course, yeah.
Cool.
I play a lot with you know Dawn Tyler Watson.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I play a lot with her. Yeah, you know, I still play with this. In high school, we started this band called Hadrian's Wall. It's like a Celtic band, and we're still together. We still play. Like we spent a good 6 years touring the U.S. like every weekend. It was amazing.
Is weird. Those let me check this out.
It is weird.
Irish band, Celtic band, all these nobody know, but those bands tour 300 days a year, and they are sold out. It's crazy. I have a friend a long time ago, like he told me, "Hi, I'm just subbing a drummer in a Celtic band now, and we're gonna have like 20 countries in Europe. Let's say something like that, 15 countries." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, like 15 countries." I'm like, "Okay, is it cool?" Yeah. We do like only like 3 to 5 hour shows. I'm like, "Okay, what's that?" It's like, "Yeah, with different sets," but nobody know that. It's you know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah. Well, we were lucky. We came in kind of when the whole Celtic craze was starting, like with Ashley McIsaac and that. So, but like back in the early 2000s, we were so busy, man. We would play this like festival out in Estes Park, Colorado every year and sell like 400 albums on the weekend. It was insane. It was crazy. And we traveled in this big blue Chevy Vandura.
Nice.
And it had 2 seats in the front, like just passenger and driver.
Yeah.
An 8-track.
The bubble window on the side, like Mr. T on the truck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No seats in the back. We just had like lawn chairs, and all the gear was piled around us. Like if we ever rolled that thing, we would have been like a blender, you know. I can't believe, and we got over the border with that. You know, it was unbelievable.
And they're like, "Your Celtic band just passed. Go."
Exactly.
But I've been in Ireland. I toured there like 3 months, like a long time ago, like 12 years ago, something like that. And before touring, of course we discovered the Guinness and all the good product there. But the people are so nice there, and the tour was amazing. We played in one theater. That was weird. It was like a place where Irish band were playing, the traditional Irish band, a big theater, 2,000 seat, brand new. But you know, it's like it doesn't fit with the style. You will think about to see those bands in a bar in the corner.
Yeah.
But they sold out the room when they have like bands like that. It's sold out like for like 2 weeks. So I was like quite impressed of my experience over there. But well, it's good to know you do that. So well, next time tell us, we're gonna go check you out.
Sure, man. Yeah.
Playing around.
I don't get to play as much with the band anymore because I'm quite busy. And being Celtic music, they're able to do it without a drummer. You know, they fiddle and mandolin and guitar. But yeah, I still play with them. Yeah.
And how you can manage a family
music with them right now?
Sorry, because it's cut. Can you keep going? It's cut. Can you repeat? I think it's frozen. Can you hear me? I think you're frozen. If you don't back in 2 minutes, I will log you out and you will have to log in back. Can you hear me, Rich? I will log you out and you can come back. It's possible. It's the internet at this time is high. We have a high people, like a lot of people connecting at the same time, and I just received a message telling me like the level, it was a different level on that platform, and say it's red level because there's too many people passing. Well, in the meantime, if you not come back in 2 minutes, we have another guest. I will repeat a few things. If you're new to the channel, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Facebook, the Instagram, please. YouTube is very good because all the videos are stored there. So if you didn't have been able to watch one show, you can always back there and rewatch a show. the Facebook, you will have a lot of information, and the Instagram. Oh, Richard is back. Are you there?
Sorry.
Can you?
I got.
It's okay. We can see you.
I've got two boys. They're probably on their iPads right now.
Well, don't worry. It's fine.
Sorry, man.
No, don't worry. And we have about like 5 minutes, like 10 minutes to chat. Well, you were mentioning you were touring, like, but my question was how you can manage to have your touring life, all those projects too, with your family life, because you have kids, and also how you can manage that.
It's tough. It's really tough. My last really big tour was when my oldest son, who's now 11, he was only 2 years old. So that was my last big tour. And after that, I was like, I gotta pull back a little bit. It's too hard. It's just hard on everybody, and I wasn't having fun doing it. So now I might go out for like a week or two at a time, but that's it. There's no more 2-month tours. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's long stretch. And did you thought about if you have a proposition for a big tour to bring your family with you? Like
yeah. That's always been once in a while I bring them.
It's a good vacation.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's pretty much what it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of tour too, because I mean, there's tour like if it's a tour bus, is different. But if it's a like a good tour, they can bring you all over state, Canada, or Europe, whatever. Like, and it's good condition. Is always nice to have that. And did you have you done like some top 40 kind of gig by the past?
Oh,
like
yeah. I do that right now. Yeah, it's a band called the Directors.
Okay.
We do lots of like corporate events and weddings, and that's really fun. I love that. It's a lot of playing though. Woo! Playing an Italian wedding. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes my bass drum foot like doesn't stop for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's non-stop. It's like keep going in between songs. There's only a kick.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you go to the right tempo until you're gonna reach it. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Usually it's like 120, 130.
Yeah, it's true actually. Yeah, no, it's yeah. I know. I have a friend, an Italian drummer actually, and he was doing that all the time. He was in a wedding band, Italian. So when he was starting his summer gig of Italian wedding, it was forever. So it's pretty good. I had a last question before we start. We finish. I wanted to ask you how you prepare in general to a gig. You told me you have like a sight reading, but if you don't know the gig, there's no chart. How you prepare in general? You will listen what the music references, or what are you write notes? How you do that?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I like to write things down. Yeah, if make my own chart. Yeah, like check it out. I'll check it out like the day before or something, and if I need to spend some time playing, or but I'll just make a little chart for myself, and
okay.
Yeah. And then I guess listening to the tune on the way to the gig in the car, that always helps.
That's always good. Yeah, but
no, you said
no. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yes, because sometimes there's just not enough time. You just got to cram it all in there.
No, because I was thinking if you have a gig like at the top 41 you are doing right now, if you have let's say like 100 songs to do, you are watching the 100 song the day before.
Well, with that band, the Directors is pretty much the same every night.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad surprise. It's like, okay, 200 new songs tonight.
No. Well, I mean, sometimes, yeah, not with that band, but sometimes I get that. Yeah, you have to learn about 30, 40 songs. Yeah, I'm kind of just getting through it, and it's fun. It's a good challenge.
Yeah, if you have references like music chart, and this is a good thing you mentioned that for drummers, of course, if depend on the gig as you want, but whatever, even if you're a death metal drummer, whatever, if you can write a certain minimum of music, even if it's not to have like the best, even to score or something, to know how to put lines and bars and things, whatever with your own band or other bands, it's always a good way to help yourself as a musician, because you can visualize what you will do.
Totally, yeah. I use if I have the time, I use Sibelius for that.
Yes, it's great.
Sibelius is perfect. It's a great program. It's really Finale's great too. Any of those two.
Yeah, it's like whatever program when you know how to work with.
Yeah.
is the most
Yes.
important thing.
I mean, sometimes the drum notation can be a little tricky, but you just got to figure it out. YouTube, man. YouTube everything.
YouTube all is the true. Actually, it's funny because I work with Sibelius and Finally. I work with both, but for writing drum, I don't know why I'm better with Finally. I think it's for me was easier to do it, but with Sibelius I'm writing charts.
Okay, yeah, that's
chords, cool. And I think for me was easier that way.
Okay.
But I mean, I think it's for everybody's personal. Like for when I record, I'm working with Logic in general or Ableton Live. So, but some people are like will work with Pro Tool. I know how to work with Pro Tool, but very basic. I know how to surf around, but for me, the interface is too heavy. But I mean, I'm not a sound recording studio guy. I will do tech sound for live, but for recording, usually when it's that, it's just my stuff, yes. But if not, I would give to someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No,
do you record? Do you have a studio at home? Do you record?
Yeah. I record quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, Logic too. Logic is great. It's like, oh, there's a big, nice picture. I'll press on that. Yeah, cool. It works.
Well, it's convenience.
Yeah, it's great. And if you're a Mac guy, anyways, then it makes total sense. Yeah,
it's stable.
Ableton is great.
Yeah, Ableton is great.
That program is awesome.
Yeah, I worked with that for about 10 years now, Ableton, because I was touring. It was the interface, the primary interface of the show I was working with. So, starting sequences and patching things. What kind of sound card do you use right now?
What do you mean by sound card? Like the
like for connecting, you have your Logic, but for your microphone, what is your primary?
I've got I use an Audient ID22.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got like Audient gear going through it. Yeah, it's nice and clean. Nothing
fancy, just perfect.
Yeah, just for now. If it becomes something bigger, then I might I'll have to upgrade because I've only got about 10 channels right now.
Well, yeah. Well, it depends. It depends how many mics you want to have on your drum, but I think you can do a lot with that. Usually, I have like a 4 and I have a 8. So and I can combine the two at the same time with the. So it's not too bad. Hey, Rich, it's already time for go, man.
Really?
Yeah, it passed so fast. So before we go, where the people can reach you, where the people can talk with you, and if I know you don't teach right now, but how they can be in touch with you if they want.
Oh well, I guess Facebook. I check out Facebook not as regularly as Instagram. Instagram might be the better place.
Okay.
Yeah, I do a lot with Instagram. I got my website. It's virtualdrumschool.com. That's the teaching site.
Okay.
My own site, richardirwin.com. Sorry. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, I wish you good luck with the COVID and all happening right now, and I hope the gigs will come back soon.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah, and I might be in Montreal soon. We should go hang.
Yes, if they let us. If they allow us to.
Yeah, let's go see a Celtic band.
Sure, man. Go to Hurley's.
Exactly. Downtown. Well, it was nice to see you, buddy, and let's talk soon together again. I will invite you again next year.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love that. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care, man. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Cool. A few reminder for the people just join us. Please subscribe YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook of Drumfills Kafé. I want to let you. Today is the World Edition number 4. So if you missed the number 1, 2, 3, they are available on the YouTube channel. Had great artists. Go check it out. Todd Zuckerman, Rick Latham, name it. Past the other day, the past week. I mean, just to reminder. The June I have like 2 World Edition coming, June 3rd. So I will have Nico Derfer, Joanie Labelle, Suzanne Morissette, Randolph Jimenez, Mark Kelso, and David Garibaldi. And June 17, I have Nasir Abdullah Kabir, Joel Stevenette, Don Lombardi, Paul Bostaff, Jim Riley, and Matt Alpern. And June 16, it's a French show that day, but I have a special guest that day. At the end will be Thomas Pridgeon. So you are more welcome to come and check it out. The channel started like around 3 months ago. It's young, but I received so much good comments. So in September, the channel will grow up crazy. We'll have a lot of more surprises and lots of things, and I will have people. We have Drumfills Kafé. I don't want to be like Drum Channel or Drumeo because they're my friend, and I don't want to copy. Drumfills Kafé will stay like a platform for people can chat, can see their drummer they like, and talk about their vision, who are they, and what their spirit and what they think about drums. And also that's why I think it would be a good platform for the future, after the COVID even. So let's go for the next artist. My next artist, we know each other for a long time. Actually, we never met in person, but we know each other like for a long time. He's a drummer, he's an educator, he's a clinician. He do a lot of master classes. He's from South America, like in Argentina. He studied in the Conservatory Manuel de la Fala with Nestor Astuti. In '99, he recorded this first solo album called Searches. And it's like a big drum solo, but very well done because it's orchestral, because he really have learned how to play the drum like as a colorful instrument, like with a lot of independence and stuff like that. In 2003, he did his second album called Lonely Traveler, and after that, he moved in 2004 in Spain, where he did a lot of shows and tour in Europe with different musicians. He back in 2014 in Argentina. He played PDP drums, Zildjian, Remo, and protection racket cases. Let's welcome Alex Leys. How are you doing?
Hey, hello, my friend. How are you, Eric?
I'm good. Nice to have you here.
Okay, you're having a nice reception from me, Mike, and everything. It's okay.
Yeah, looking
Perfect.
good. All sounds good. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
How's the life for you in Argentina right now?
Well, I think it's I think I have been grateful because despite all the problems that people are having, we are trying to do as best as we can. Just trying to, I don't know, just trying to day by day fighting with things that come up within this big problem, and trying to follow what's going on next. But actually, when I'm not touring, I'm at home 24/7, and so it's not a big deal, because I'm always home. If I'm not touring, I'm always home. It's not something that you leave home at 8 and go back at 7 or 5 or whatever. So I have stuff to do, repairing things and studying or practicing, taking care of family or whatever.
So that's great. And you're one of the lucky one. You have a studio in your place, at your place.
Well, yes, it's not a studio. It's actually is my wife is a music therapist. And I kind of just put my drums inside of her studio. This is her studio, so nobody's coming, of course, because of the virus. So I set up my drum so I can practice, and yes, I'm very lucky to have almost more than half of my drum kit, which is it's a big drum kit, but it's almost half of my drum kit here. So I can practice with no bother at all, neighbors or whatever. I can play with full concert volume, nothing the pads or whatever,
And that's great. And you started to play I don't know at what time you start. Which age? You were like a very young kid, or when you were a teenager? When did you start playing drums?
No, I was very, very young. Well, I don't know. I feel like I've been playing, since forever. There's no one day that I started playing. My father used to be a preacher in a church. So me, as a son of a preacher, I have to sit on the first row every weekend. There's no option. I have to be on the front row. So I sit just in front of the band and actually in front of the drums. So by the time I was 9 or 10, I already know the songs. I can play it on my legs, And the first time I sit on the drums, I can actually play some of the songs. I was not concerned about, independence or where the hi-hat goes, where the snare drum goes. I just can play because it was extremely natural. It was very natural, just like learn to talk. Okay, and I was 9 or 11, and by the time I was 13, I was playing in the church band, and that was amazing because every weekend I have the experience to play for, I don't know, 400, 500 people, which not every 13 years old kid have. It's a lot of people with a musical director. It's a 1 hour show with, it's big. So it was a great experience, and well, just be snowballing from that.
And you, after that, did you do your high school in the music, and you did college and university, or directly conservatory?
No, I of course I was studying, taking normal studies as a high school, and then I say, okay, I have to do it well, because I was playing for, I don't know, 5 years self-taught, and I say, okay, let's go to check some of the academia. So I went to the Conservatory of Music, but the conservatory doesn't teach drums; they teach
percussion,
classical percussion. Yes. So I have a very, very good classical percussion teacher, a snare drum actually teacher.
Okay.
He taught me how to read, how to write, and the fulcrum, and some of the grips, like a very, very strict German grip, very classical.
Yep.
And I went there for 1 or 2 years, and I say, okay, but I need a drum teacher, So I I participate in a contest, and I win this contest, and the prize was a year of scholarship with Argentinian best drum teacher, sort of a Freddie Gruber of drums in Argentina. He's a very, very old man, like he's a guru. His name is Chiche Heger. And I went for 9 months with Chiche, and he taught me, well, many things, mostly Mueller technique, and we get into independence. We get into natural motion. We get into constant release technique. But over everything, he taught me how to keep studying for myself. How to get the discipline, and how to teach myself, and how to separate what is good, what is bad, and well, that's about it. From now I went along.
Well, that's my next question, because you don't have a style of drummer like normal person. Not because it's not bad, not in the good way. You have your own.
I'm not a normal person.
Yeah. Okay, but you said so it's in your but it's a good comment, because because I know you have been influenced by Terry Bozzio and guys like that. But can you name other guy doing independency they have making a big change in your life?
Yes, of course. Actually, it's all began with Ringo. As for many drummers, it begins with Ringo. He was my first idol, and then I went to. I think that I choose a path of people that have in common. Now, when I see backwards, they have in common sort of things that ended up being sort of my influence, or if you might call it. One was Neil Peart, and he was he was a composer, trying to compose parts on the drum set. Mm-hmm. Terry, of course, as well. Mostly the early Terry with UK, that kind of bands. When he write the parts note by notes, and the beats were not just common, and same with Neil Peart with Rush. And always I was attracted by drummers with a strong personality, with a strong stylistic, I might say, a stylistic and a sonic identity. I want to listen to somebody and know that it's him, even if I'm not, watching them. So I was very attracted to that. And then I began to listen a little bit more of jazz, like Tony, like Peter Erskine, Eric Gravatt from Weather Report, and people with very strong personality. When you listen to two bars, you say, okay, that's Tony, okay, that's Neil Peart, that's Simon Phillips, that's Phil Collins.
It's funny you say that because I was watching Phil Collins like 2 days ago, and the classic
yes, it's a full package of identity, because you see his drum set and you know that it's him, even if he's not in the drum set. Then you listen to the drums and you know that it's him, even if you're not watching. So it's a full package of strong identity. Those were my influence, up to the point when I say, okay, these guys did their thing, I want to do my thing. So where I am, I start to develop. That's what, because my first record is called Searches, because I was searching, an identity. I was asking myself where I come from, where I want to go. I was born in Argentina, so I don't want to sound like a New York guy. I don't want to sound like a Belgian guy. I was born here in Argentina, so I want my identity come up when I'm playing. I don't want to sound like Terry. I don't want to sound like, I don't know, Grant Collins or whatever, another solo drummer. I want to sound like me. So that was my development as an artist. So I basically stopped listening to those drummers. I stopped listening to any drummer. I don't listen to any drummer at all for the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 years.
There's always different ways for everybody to learn or to do their things, and I don't think there's good and there's bad ways. I think it's only another way.
Absolutely.
You mentioned something, because you said, I like to have to see a drummer, even if he doesn't play. I will watch on stage and I will see exactly that kit is for that person. You have a special kit anyway. You have your own setup with your own pedal placement and your series of your cymbals. Like right now is very high. How you became to have a setup like that? Because I know now you don't change much since a few years, like that setup. Is it something because you wanted only to have different things, or you became to put the symbols, okay, this because this bring me there and this do that? So how you
yes, well, it's a mix. I think sometimes restrictions are a very good way to come up with new stuff. Like this time we're living now, we have a lot of restrictions, we have a lot of limits, and that helps you to deal with creativity. It's tremendous outlet for creativity. So I have problems with my setup for the music that I compose, and I have to solve these problems. And that kind of the setup was changing and adapting to the music I was playing. Like it can happen to anybody, if you listen to, if you see the Jojo Mayer drum setup, it's made for the music that he's playing, it's not made for playing. Yeah, he changed a lot, but for the last years, maybe, he changed the hi-hat or get rid of the 10-inch tom or whatever. But it has to be with the music he's playing. And the same happened with my drum set. I start adding some toms. So my principal hi-hat started to put it away from me, because I don't cross my hands. So I mostly never hit with my right hand, my left hi-hat.
You play open.
Well, not open, because I have a hi-hat on the other side that I use mostly as a principal. Okay. Then I started adding toms, in the position that normally a drummer puts a right cymbal. And because my music is not right cymbal oriented music, I never use a right cymbal, like tin 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 or chinkitin chinkitin. I just hit it as a very low note, as the lowest note I have on a cymbal is my right cymbal. So I want to add more toys, more toms, or whatever. So it started to going up, 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 till the point where it's now that when my full drum set is set up, there is a lot of toms under the right cymbal, so it doesn't bother me. Okay, but also it became a kind of a trademark of my drum set. So if you see my drums, you know that it's me, even if I'm not there.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because I remember a long time ago I've seen Akira Jimbo, and and his ride was like here, and Nugu Chandler was doing the same thing. And I remember though the kit were not exactly the same, but the ride was super high. And,
yes, there were a couple of drummers like Akira, Nugu Chandler, also Ricky Lapson when he was touring with Michael. He used to have the right cymbal very high. And I think that the first one there I remember was Eric Gravatt from Weather Report. Even if it was a 4-piece jazz drum kit with 2 cymbals, the right cymbal was so high. It was tremendous. Yes, tremendous.
But this is great. It's fun because you can develop sound. And for the people they don't know you, they're watching the show right now because you play very orchestrally-ish drums. Like you approach with rhythm, but very musical.
Yes.
You have big waves, and you will change tempos, and you will punch cymbals. So how you did your first album, because that was 20 years ago, something like that. When you started, you didn't necessarily know exactly like now you know exactly who you are, but when you're very young,
I didn't know nothing.
So how you became to do that album, the first album that target that trigger your career?
It's a good question, because now I can answer the question. I wasn't able to answer the question 20 years ago. Now I can answer the question because I saw, if I look backwards, I was coming from the Conservatory of Music. I was exposed to a lot of classical music. I was exposed to a lot of theory from the academia, like harmony and melody and orchestration. I went to study composition with another individual teacher. So I have to find a solution. I have to find a new syntaxis between my instrument and that information. They wasn't necessarily apply all the time, because drummer normally deals with rhythm and with dynamics. But the elements of music are the most important elements of music are 5. So we have rhythm, dynamics, but also melody, harmony, and orchestration. And I don't want to, I say to myself, okay, I don't want to change my instrument. I don't want to play the piano. I don't want to compose on a guitar. I want to use my technique that I have developed in my instrument with this information. So I have to find a way to combine them. And still I'm trying to get better on this, and to find a balance between those elements. Looking back, Searches, the first album was my first try, my first composition. And now I'm still playing some of those compositions in my concerts or in my clinics. They are completely different. They grew up. They are more mature, if you will, because I'm improvising a lot within the composition, which I think is very important as well.
Okay. When talking about that, when you do, because you do a lot of master classes and clinic, and I was maybe supposed to go see you soon, but with the COVID, all have changed. So,
yes.
When you do those orchestral rhythm and you present that to the audience, what is your target? What you want to demonstrate? Do you want to play a song, or a full song, or you want to show different independency technique, or what are your target when you do clinic and master, or you mix all that?
Okay. First, I want to say that the clinic format for me is just a platform that I use to show my music. Okay. What I do is I play music with the drums. When I say music, I say something that involves is a complete musical statement that involves the 5 elements of music. So I play harmony, I play modes, I play orchestration, melodies, dynamics, tension, release, a complete musical statement. I used to put together drum solo concert, but those were very difficult to put together economically and production wise was very tough 20 years ago. So I have to find a solution. One more time, I have to find a platform where to express myself with complete commercial freedom, but make a living at the same time. And I find out the clinics. So Drum Workshop and Silgen and Rio, they were, they give me totally freedom. They don't say you have to play this, you have to play that, you cannot to play this or whatever. So I can do whatever I want on the clinics. So I play my drum composition. So it's a sort of a concert because I play my solo drum compositions. It's a seminar because I speak to the people some information. I give some information that I want to give them, okay? And then it's kind of a clinic because we have this question and answer section, all right?
Yep.
But the most important thing is I want to communicate a message. Okay, I don't want to show my technique. I don't care about my technique. I don't care about independence. I don't play for drummers. More and more and more from, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, I start to bring everybody to the clinics. Architects or doctors or people who have normal jobs, because my music is just an abstract way to communicate a message. Okay, I have to communicate because I have to communicate a message as an artist, not as a drummer, not even as a musician, but as an artist. I want to communicate a message to everybody. So what I play is just an abstract example, okay, of many things that later I will speak about this in the seminar, like improvisation, which means to deal when unforeseen occurrences like the one we are having now, exposed to the new kids to a real-time creativity process, which is something that most people don't have the opportunity to see. People creating art in real time in front of them is something that is not so common anymore. And well, I want to give them something pure, which I think what I do is pure, it's real, it's not a lie. So those are the values that I want to communicate, okay? And trying to change their perception of any event, okay? Any performance. It doesn't have to be mine. So the last thing that I want people focus on is on my independence or my technique. I'm not playing for drummers. I don't see the point of having two drummers say, wow, what independence Alex Leys have. That doesn't mean nothing for me. I prefer people that is not a drummer, that have a beautiful afternoon and have a trip or a time travel in the performance. That's I enjoy the most.
It's a good comment, actually. And actually, can you tell us, or giving cues for the young drummers, they would like to do a bit the kind of approach you are doing? Because I mean, there's kids. You told us you were playing beats on you and in front of the church, and you grow up and you develop your style. So when the people go to your clinics, for sure they learn stuff. Even if you don't want to promote the technique, you don't play for the drummer, but they will go and they will be very inspired by you. So is there cues or comments or things that the young drummer could do to develop their own style, but maybe influenced by you?
Well, yes, I think those are very different things. I'm not sure if people is interested in following my path, because after all these years, I see very few people trying to do this, because it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of, a lot of pain. It's a painful road. It's a painful road. It has to be. It has to be, because it's something beautiful, but it takes a lot of pain, a lot of time alone with the instrument. But I don't care about that. My advice to young kids, it's the same that I say on my clinics. Try to find something pure, something real. Try to be curious, because that's the way. The big question mark is that big question mark is, who are you? What moves you? What feels you? Okay, and mostly with the new generation, with the digital native generations, and with the social media, they are so afraid to not belong to a group. If I don't have likes, I'm nobody. If I don't have followers, I'm nobody. And that's not true. And people is afraid to do new things because of this. Because of they afraid to not belong to a certain group. So it takes courage. So I want to show them courage. I want to show them that I can have a living. I can pay my taxes. I can travel the world. I can have endorsers playing, not having to play Justin Timberlake covers on YouTube. I can make something real. So it's important for me to have that message and go and form a band, put a band together. Okay, put a band together, like the Beatles, like the Stones, like Jimi Hendrix. Try to find that fire. I always quote Gustav Mahler, who say, tradition is not praying to the ashes, but passing on the fire. So I trying to keep the fire on, and not just repeating and regurgitating the same thing that the last century.
Yeah.
Keep the evolution of the drum set, pushing limits.
It's hard to, like you said, whatever style people want to have, to feel affiliated to something. And like you said, like some drummer, they don't know who they are. So of course, when you're a kid, you will connect with, like, okay, let's say Travis Barker or Lars Ulrich or whatever. Like, you will see the first drummer, you will copy a bit what they do, their setup, but it's not because it worked for them, it worked for you. This I always said to my son: take the what you like from them, put in your toolbox, but develop your own style. It's not because Travis uses cymbal like super high and like a snare on the side is for you. It's not bad. I just think is like you need to discover. You can try, because you will decide. When I was a kid, I had a friend.
Of course,
he was a lefty drummer, and he asked me if he can set up his drum in my house. I said yes. So we put the drum one in front of the other one, and I was trying to play all I was doing right in the lefty set after. So I was doing my jazz and my samba and all. Horrible. Okay, it was the big snap in the face I ever had, because you have to be okay. I can do it. Of course, you groove differently, but this way you can grow as a person and find your own personality in the drumming. You know what I mean? To continue,
yes.
because we have about 5 minutes. When you were in Europe, because I knew you were in Europe for a long time, did you only, I know you play with some people, but you tour a lot. I mean, I was like different countries and all. You were with different bands, or
Yes.
you had like one or two main artists in general?
Well, I toured first couple of years. I toured with boys, that TV program, The Boys,
Hmm.
a coach in Spain. Okay,
Okay.
well, the program in Spain. She was called it Ruth Marcos, and he was a coach in the Boys
Okay.
program. So we toured 2 years,
Okay.
extremely extremely long shows, like 4 hours long show, like 85 songs. It was okay. I was trying to make my place and getting started, and so on. But as soon as the clinic format started to get in shape for me, and started to work with the company, I left that, and I put a duo with which I consider is the best Chatman stick player.
Yeah.
The Chatman stick,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
okay, which I consider the best Chatman stick player. Which his name is Guillermo Cides. He was from
Okay.
Barcelona. So we put a duo together, and we toured the hell out of Europe, making 367 shows a year,
It's a
something
lot.
like that. And we come to South America and blah 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 blah. But I was doing the clinics together. Normally, I play a clinic or a master class first, and then we do the show. So it was very exhausted. But I did a lot of my development on those years. He was very open to my ideas. He'd let me incorporate what I was working as a solo artist in his music. We make some great records, great tours. It was very enjoyable. Yes.
But it's good because you had the chance to work with European musicians and people from South America that give you different point of view too. The people and the music is good language,
Absolutely.
so you can play even if the
Yes.
guy won't have speak Spanish, you could, or English, you could have talk music with your drum, and you can
Well,
connect.
yeah, yes, it gave me the chance to establish myself, because I was doing the same thing in Europe that I was doing here in Argentina, but nobody cares about that in Argentina. When I was, at the end of the last century, nobody cares. So I went to Europe, and I keep doing the same thing, but the brands, the companies start notice, and they supported me. And suddenly, 10, so 15 years back, when I come back to Argentina, okay, I was established as a solo drum artist and clinician and blah 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 blah. So I can keep working now in Argentina,
Uh,
having
con-
done all the job in Europe.
Congratulations for you, my friend. It's time to go. It's done. I want to
Thank you.
you tell me where the people can connect with you and where they can see you playing, like or the way if they want classes or something, how they can connect with you.
Okay, always social media is the outlet that we have now. So Facebook, Instagram, mostly. I use as a one way, just letting people know where I'm going to play next and where are my next concert or next clinics. And there are a lot of videos in YouTube as well. So if you just Google Alex Leys, there are a lot of information over there. So I think it's a little bit. Those are the best way to get in touch with me.
Well, cool. Well, I hope to see you soon, buddy. I would like to go in Argentina. I've never been, so
Yes.
I wish I could go and play with you and do some music together there.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Can be very cool.
Yeah, we have to make something together. Yeah, we have known for many, many years, but we have to meet and have some beers together and play and have fun. So thank you. I want to thank you, Eric, for this opportunity, and congratulate you, because this is a great, great show, and I hope it lasts a lot of time.
I hope to. We're gonna work it out, and you're in the first season guesses, so I'm very happy to have you in that first season. So, I thought about you because I knew it will
I'm a
be
lucky guy.
great to have you on the show. So, thanks, buddy. I need to go, and we'll talk soon together. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Alex. Great guy. So, and go to our next guest right now. Now, at the end, I will resume the that information I wanted to talk about. So, that guy started drum at 4 years old. He played in the church in different kind of styles. He played with Nino and projects like Blackwell, Stone Blade, Black Millet, Roy Wakam, Lorenzo, Jonah, Ruben, fired at the time. He played in different big events. He played at the 2013 Grammys Award, Austin City Music, the Montreal Jazz Festival, that is the tournament, Saturday Night Live, anymore. Got reviews from Rolling Stone magazine, early Modern Drummer, Monitor, whatever. A lot of drums magazine. Windows PDPW drums, the Feisty artist. Play Evans. So let's go see. Daru Jones, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for say yes for the invitation.
Thanks for having me.
How life is for you in the quarantine?
It's cool. I mean, we all in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? So, things are starting to open back up here in Tennessee, in some areas. So, I had a couple of jobs last week, and I had one yesterday. But other than that, I'm still staying indoors, trying to keep it light.
That's cool. You're in Tennessee. You're in Nashville, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Yeah, great city. Music city. It's amazing place. Well, I'm very happy you'll be here because I want to we talk about like different kind of approaches because you've been doing like drum grooves and stuff, and you play very like soft. You can play loud, but I mean you have your own touch. And just I was talking with Alex just before you. It's super important to have your own signature, and you have your own, and it's cool to have that. That make you you didn't try to follow the path of like 225 drummer. You did I will do that, and you did your stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's pretty good. You started at 4 years old, so that's pretty young. I started at 3, so I am kind of in the same, like I understand where you passed. But you did church music, and but after that, what did you do? You jumped to high school and college music. What did you do after that for growing as a musician?
Okay, again, like you said, I started playing at 4. My mom and dad are both musicians. They both play organ and keyboard. So I started in church.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Dad. Lost him. But yeah. So after that, I had some older mentors. You know what I'm saying, that were hit me to like jazz and the jazz drumming. It was kind of funny because I came up in a church where it was super strict. Everything outside of gospel was a no-no. It's called secular, and we were told not to listen to it. But anyway, I snuck because I'm a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're like, okay.
I had a lot of older mentors in my life, and one day, actually, let me take that back.
Uh-huh.
So my mom, she wanted me to advance, and she wanted me to learn how to read music. So she put me in chart reading lessons, and when I was in middle school. And I remember going to get lessons at this specific drum store. And every time I left, I saw the modern drum magazines, which I'll become fascinated. Then they had the VHS tapes. You know what I'm saying? So actually, I saw this one that looked so cool because of the drums, and it was Terry Bozzio solo drums. First and my mom, she bought that for me. And that cracked my head because that was my first time, finding out about other styles of drumming outside of gospel, which was based around pocket.
Yeah.
Not a lot of chops. So after that, I had some older mentors that was, that snuck too, and they were into jazz, and they hit me to the Buddy Rich Memorial Series concerts.
That's a
volume one, and actually when that one of them gave me volume 2 with Vinnie Colaiuta, Dave Weckl, and Steve Gaddon. That blew my mind. So as a teenager, I started getting into jazz, and I started playing all of that stuff. I started shedding, Tony Williams and everybody that was out at the time, Peter Erskine, and then for 10 years, through my young teenage and almost adult years, I was into fusion and I played that music. At the same time, when I was in high school, I was influenced by hip hop. So I started learning about the producers, and I would learn about RZA, from Wu-Tang Clan, and DJ Premier from Gang Starr, Pete Rock.
Great band, man. Great band. And
Yeah.
the beat at those time, like the 808 and all those like sound, they were like they're still good.
Still good, and then at the time in the '90s, it was cool because the hip hop producers, they were sampling like James Brown, which had Clyde Stubblefield. So I was like, oh, I can play that because that's a drummer, that's a drum vibe, what I'm saying. So then and then I want to say jump fast forward in like the mid 2000s, I become the hip hop drummer. Outside of Amir Questlove, I started becoming the go-to guy because I made a reputation for myself, which I worked really hard for. You know what I'm saying? And what's helped me advance, people they was like, yo, hire Daru because Daru is going to play your tracks like the album. And that's the name that I made for myself, because a lot of times you get jobs and sometimes drums we get it twisted. We feel like people want to hire us to come and just do our own thing, but really, depending on the music that you're playing, the music that I was playing, I just wanted to respect the original composers, and I learned the patterns just like the patterns. And then when I had a chance to deviate and add my swag, I did that. But I made a name for myself, and then people started calling me. I became like the guy for live hip hop drumming for over a decade, and then I graduated from there to rock and roll. Started working with Jack White and so on.
Nice. But when you were first called in Nashville or in New York, or where were you at that time?
So at that time I was living in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I started working with Phil Solomon. He one of the top tunists, still paying tunists in the world, if that's a word. He's still drumming. I played with a Caribbean band, like in a company band, and we went out. And before that, I played in another still drum ensemble. But this was like a vocal point in my career because when I was in Pittsburgh, I really made some cool moves there and got a chance to work with Slum Village. Through one of the guys. He was the MD. He was coming up from DC to Pittsburgh, and I got somebody recommended me, to be the drummer for him. This drummer flaked out the last minute, so I got the recommendation. I did it, and that was an opportunity to work with Slum Village, and yeah, it's amazing.
Cool.
It's amazing.
It's funny what you mentioned, VHS. I remember when I was in college, I was watching all the time Dennis Chambers and Peter Eskin.
Yes.
VHS. I destroyed them, and I was mentioning to another show when I back to my college, I do a master class in 2011, and I was in Drum Channel in 2011, and Don Lombardi asked me, Eric, pick whatever DVD you want, and I'm like, okay, I picked 2, 3, but one was Peter Eskin, and I came back to my
timekeeping is everything,
and I gave it to my college and said, sorry guys, I destroyed your VHS. I'm giving you the DVD. So it was. It was the only way you can access to it at that time, and then for me it was different. For me, what it changed, Dennis changed a big part of my life. The linear patterns and all that. I really dig it. And or you were mentioning Wu-Tang. I was taking tape cassette Wu-Tang and playing their beat just to trying to have that feel, like. Just on it, and it's a good school. It's a super good school. Well,
yeah. Those were the golden years. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I came up during that time because I feel like yourself. I think we have an advantage because there was no YouTube and we had to transcribe everything by ear. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of just gave us another skill because it's like I told people like I remember when Chick Corea and Electric Band was out with Dave Weckl and. When they John Patitucci, when they were doing their solo records, they used the same musicians, but they all played Yamaha. They had a similar kit. But how I would recognize the drummer because of the sound, the sound of the tuning. I was like, that's Vinny, because I knew how Vinny his sound was. I could hear it. I knew Gad had like a more of a dry sound, and Erskine, they all had their sound, and that's something that I want to eventually develop. Later on in my career.
But that's good you mentioned that because it was one of my question. You have worked a lot on your own sound, and that's pretty remarkable, and it's nice. And how you became to put your drum the way it is right now. Of course, there's something about motion, but how you became. Of course, the first day you didn't put your snare and your thumb like this. You probably make a lot of tests. How it became that to have your own sound?
Okay, so basically that's a really good question. So how I got to where I'm at today, we all evolve as drummers, you know what I'm saying, every so many years. Some people And I would say too, not to veer off the question, you know, everybody can't. I'm not saying everybody can't, but find the lane you want to be in. If you want to be the drummer, that be the guy to be the Billy Cobham, and you know whatever it is. If you want to be that drummer that have a bunch of chops and you build your career off of that. It's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But I knew the lane that I wanted to be in because of who I was influenced by, like Gad. He was a Matre genre bending drummer. You could put him in any situation and he would get the job done. He doesn't overplay. But to answer the question, to get my setup, my challenge was basically because I play traditional grip.
Yep.
So I was already doing a snare that way. I started doing a snare because that's definitely a tribute to the old school, like Gene Krupa marching band. Like, you know, so I did snare drum, but then one day I woke up, I was like, man, what would happen if I do the floor tom? And working in the hip hop community, it's all about having an identity. You know what I'm saying? And I know at that time, Questlove was one of the first drummers I saw play hip hop in a live setting. There might have been other drummers, but for me, that was the first person that I saw. And I saw his kit. He just had a snare and the floor tom.
Yeah, I remember that actually. I remember that.
And I was like, yo, that's dope that he's able to do that. So I was like, all right, how can I do that? But I didn't want to just be a carbon copy of Amir. You know what I'm saying? So eventually that's what the angling came in so I can have my own identity. So my challenge coming from playing fusion and playing a full regular 5-piece kit, my challenge was trying to figure out how to do those fills in a smaller set, in you know, with a couple pieces. But what it did was it challenged me and it just made me change my vocabulary on what I'm playing. You know what I'm saying? So it made me be more creative and be more selective on what I do when I'm playing, because I play some fusion-y type of jazzy hip hop gigs where I'm bringing in some chops. I had a group that I worked with, and we did hip hop and jazz, and I was able to break some of that, but it was still cool. I still had to change my vocabulary because of, instead of going like this, I was going like going down. But I changed my configuration because maybe like a few years ago, but when I started playing with Jack White in 2012, even before that, I just had the snare drum and floor tom regularly, and I had
a 24. You had, I guess,
for the bass drum.
How big? Yeah, how big? Because I saw your show, but
26. 26.
Okay, I thought it was 24. 26 is big, man.
So originally, I had the snare drum in front of me and the floor tom on the side angle, and then I added a marching drum because on some of the White Stripe songs, that's what dang, what's the guy, my man, that plays with the Raconteurs? Dang, that's my guy too. But anyway, there were some of those drum sounds, and Jack wanted the marching sound, so I had additional snare, and then a rack on the side, still tilted, and then I'm the type of person, once people start catching on, I like to change it up. So when I start seeing people kind of like copy, I was like, well, let me go switch it up. So that's when I changed the setup. Now I have the floor tom in front of me, going down. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different, different configuration. But I like to keep switching it up.
It's cool, and you're very lucky. Like I would put myself in the lucky too, because I'm with DW2 and you're with DW, and
my man.
Cool. I mean, they're very helpful. And I try your kit. They developed it for you, like the PDP, like the black, like orange sparkle fade you have. And a friend of mine just got it like a few months ago, and it's great.
Thank you.
The size are not too big, but they have tone. They tone. You know what I mean? It's not like some kind of drum only to be short stack. They have something, they talk, and this is what I like. The new PDP line is great because before it was different, but they upgraded so much their kit now, and the quality is there, wood is there, and your kit is very cool. And I tried your Peisty cymbal when I was in Peisty, California the other day, and it's cool, man. They're very small. Do you like it? It's pretty interesting.
Thank you. Now I want to give big shout out to my man Egg. Y'all do your Googles. This cat got chops. This cat got it. You know, got his thing. Thank you for having me on your show. And so you know, DW, they always for years been about high quality. I consider DW like the Rolls Royce of drums. You know, I know there's a lot of other companies out there that's great, but as a kid, you know, when I first got put onto DW, they've always made top quality. So although PDP is another, you know, it's still DW. It's just another, you know, how can I say it? But you know, it's the PDP is still a part of DW, and you know, anything that they're gonna put their name behind, it's going to be top quality. So I knew that by doing the collaboration, which I'm thankful to do with DW, that it wasn't, although it was smaller size, I knew that the sound wasn't going to be compromised. And that was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then another thing too, I wanted to do something that kind of had a fashion, you know, swaggy, because I'm a fashion guy, and I wanted to have something that looks cool. You know, drummers, sometimes you like to stand out. But like you said, I'm thankful for trying it out, and I like that everything is small and compact, and it's versatile. You can try with different heads and get I saw Eric Moore use a kit with his heads and tune it down. It sounds like a you know what I'm saying, like a big boy. I'm like, dang.
He probably destroyed the kit.
he dismantled. Also, shout out to Peisty too for the collaboration on the cymbals. Yep. You did the whole vibe. I had the opportunity to go to the factory, and I was like, yo, it'd be great, because I think I moved to Nashville, but I'm still going in between here and New York. I was like, it would be cool to have a cymbal set where you just put in your backpack. That's small, because as you know, sometimes you go to jam sessions, people's cymbals are cracked up. You know what I'm saying? They beat. It's like, no fear. Just go in your backpack, take these out, and you'll be back in the game. And then I also do like a lot of drum DJ gigs, so those cymbals work good for that setting. And
it's great. It's great. And just to finish the topic of gear, is so true what you mentioned. Now kits are so good in general, whatever brand. When you change drum skin, I'm trying to tell my drummer friend or my student sometimes, like, just change your drum head. Try it out. It's not because that kit is for jazz, for example, that kit is for death metal. If you put like different heads, you're gonna get different tone. You're gonna put it up, and you can have various of people, and it depends on the player too. You can, like, whatever player, the drum will sound different. So you need to make try out and try different things. So that's a good example. Your cymbal are small, on a small kit, different playing, different heads, it's gonna sound different because you're a different person. You don't want to be the copycat of you. You are your own personality. So that's
good. I mean, not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Under the same tone, like, I remember being a kid and being inspired by my heroes, and I'm going to. I think it's just different stages that we, as human beings, you know, when you're a kid, you do things that kids do. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You pick up and you mimic. You know what I'm saying? But for me, that's the lane that I wanted to be in. So when I was younger, I set up my drum just like Peter Erskine. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind that when I see like a kid, and I repost those videos when I see kids out there or teenagers like setting up their kids like me. That's what it's for. I did the same thing. But when I got older in my career, I want to eventually get an identity, because I wanted to be in a certain position where I can, like John Bonham, Vinny, and those, they stand out because they built their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be that drummer. And and to do that, you have to find something that, you know, your niche. So, you know, to each his own.
It's a good cue, because, like you said, if you're your own personality, you're gonna get higher for who you are, and it's super important. I remember a story, like quick. One friend, he hired Manu Katché to record.
Manu is so dope.
Yes, man, it sounds crazy. And the producer, after the track, says like, can you do this that way? Can you do that way? I don't like this. And for about like 5-10 minutes complaining of the recording. And apparently said like, well, you hire me. So if you don't want that song, hire that guy.
Exactly. You hit it right. You hit it right on the nose. And that's a whole nother topic. We need to do like a real business, because that's what it is. It's like, yo, when you're hiring us drummers, we have to know our role. Otherwise they can just use a click track or get the drum machine. You know what I'm saying? So if you hire me because you want me to bring my flavor to the table. So let me, you know, give me, you know, it's cool to give me like an idea, but don't totally cut my arms off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yep. Otherwise, just go hire the drummer that just wants to be that. That's not for me. But
no, we only have like around 5-7 minutes. But I want to ask you a question. What was your sorry, I'm changing topic, but what's your biggest music experience you keep in your heart? Like something, you know, that was your biggest thing you've done. Not for everybody, but for you. You feel what was of your biggest goal, and you did it in music.
Okay, one of the things, because it's a lot. I remember playing at the 2013 Grammy Awards. You know what I'm saying? That performance that really changed that was like my first time on that type of platform to that level, and I was able to shine because Jack, you know, I performed with Jack White, and Jack had the two bands at the time. You had the Peacocks, the all-female band, and the all-guy band, and it was a lot of pressure because we were live, and when we rehearsed it, as soon as the girls stopped, the drums kicked off the next tune, so I had to be on point. But thank goodness I was on point, and that performance really highlighted, you know, my showmanship as a drummer. I was seen by a lot of people, and I've gotten a lot of work. That's one of the biggest things that I've ever done. 2013 Grammy Awards with Jack White.
I'm sure it's online. I'm sure people can see that online.
Yeah, you can see the full quality, and it's on Vimeo. I think that's the name. It's not. Vimeo. I saw one on YouTube, but it's not of good quality. But the Vimeo, I may be pronouncing that wrong because there's like a Vimeo app for cash. But what is you know what it is the the Vimeo. It's on there. You can check it out. And the song we're playing is Freedom at 21. I'm bad with names.
It doesn't matter.
So many titles in my head, but yeah.
How people can reach you is like, I think you're teaching, right? Or I think you were teaching. Is it possible? I do teach drum right now, or like online sometime, or no?
So not at the moment. You know, basically, like I'm doing a lot of clinics. That's what it is. I'm doing a lot of clinics. I had the opportunity to do the bag show in Paris. That was amazing. Manu was a part of that building as well as Dennis Chambers. Wow. It was really cool. So I did the bag show, and I've been doing a lot of clinics. That's what I've been doing, you know, for the last months. I've done the Gear Fest at Sweetwater, which is huge.
Yeah, this is huge. It's crazy huge.
It was me, Keith Carlock, and Dennis, and you know, the same day, and everybody played my kit, which was bugged out. Dennis was like kept shaking his head like,
I don't know.
But he was funky. He got it, but Keith Carlock destroyed because Keith already played weird too. Keith have a similar angle, but
something like that.
That's my boy, man. He's so funky, but he killed it. Yep.
He's a cool guy too. I met him a few times, and they're all good, man. Drumming community in general, people like 95% people are cool and genuine and nice with everybody, and they're good people, good spirit. That's what I like.
Yeah, drumming. It's a lot of little battles though, but you know, just like all other musicians, you have your battles. But I think as drummers, if we connect with you, that means something. So because it's a funny thing, but yeah, you're right. It's a community. Yep.
Community. Where the people can see your last, before we go, all your posts. Is it better to see your better posts on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube? Where's your main platform? Let's say.
I would say Instagram right now because, you know, luckily, and I know this is a good and bad thing. We in the pandemic, but everybody's using this time to do whatever they're doing. I'm using this time to play catch up. I have a lot of content from like the last 6 to 8 months that because I've gotten busy. Like the last things I uploaded on YouTube and on my website was August, but I kept. But Instagram is so fast, you can just upload it right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm playing catch up on uploading my videos to YouTube and my website. So Instagram, you know, at Daru Jones, Instagram. And then you can go to my website. It's being updated. I put some up to date, you know, entries on some stuff that I've been doing, and that's Rusic Records. That's my label, RUSIC Records.com. And from there, you can get all my social links, Twitter, Facebook. It's all at Daru Jones. Yep.
Well, Amen. Thank you so much to accepting the invitation. It's not easy to start a project, and you said yes, and I was super happy. And now the project is just going bigger. Like in June, I was mentioning, I have like Don Lombardi, Paul Bostaff, Jim Riley, Matt Alpern.
Oh wow, Jim Riley. Okay, that's what's up.
The lineup is coming to be big. The channel is crazy, and I really want to thank you. One day I would shake your hand and say, "Man, thank you for saying yes for that. I really appreciate it."
Thanks for having me on the show, Eric. Much respect to what you're doing too, man. You got it going on too. Shout out to the Drumfills Kafé. You know what I'm saying? Wishing you guys many more blessings and keep growing and
stay safe.
Thank you. Yes,
buddy. See you soon.
See you soon.
Take care, man. Bye
All right,
bye.
you too. Thanks. All right, bye-bye.
So it was a great show. The 4th edition of the World Edition. Just to make a reminder, I will launch it today. The poster, the flyers. I mean, June 3rd, I will have Nico Derfer, Johnny Labelle, Suzanne Morissette, Randolph Jimenez, Mark Casso, and David Garibaldi for that show. The June 17th, I have Nasir Abdul Abkabir, Joel Stevenette, Don Lombardi, Paul Bostaff, Jim Riley, and Matt Alpern. And June 16th, it's a French show, but French edition, I mean. But I will have a special guest at the end. Thomas Pridgeon will be there. So please subscribe to YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook of Drumfills Kafé, and stay tuned. We will see you very soon. Take care and see you in 2 weeks.